This is The Art of Thought, episode 18, recorded on December 5th, 2018. It's been a long time coming, but I'm back. And now that you know that I'm back, and now that that is muted, one thing that I wanted to say is I'm glad that I'm back. A lot of things have happened over the course of, it's almost been a month, honestly. The last published was November 14th. And it's been a while. You know, I went through some rough times, some ups and downs, some craziness. But it's everything is coming back together now. We're getting to the end of the year. It's December. We're in the 20 days till Christmas. Can you believe it? One of my favorite games is coming out next year, a month from now. Well, about 2 months from now, Kingdom Hearts 3. You can actually pre-download it on Xbox One right now if you have it. And I'm not sick. I'm actually not sick this time. So for the past couple episodes, I believe I was sick in November, like a lot. So I'm not sick now. Only problem now is the air condition does not work, so the heat is off. So if you hear in the background like a fan going off, it is mainly because there's a floor heater. There's a little space heater that I have next to my feet. So one thing that I wanted to get across is so much has changed, and this episode is gonna be a reintroduction to this show. I'm keeping it roughly 30 minutes, but this is going to be a reintroduction of the show. So, without further ado, my name is Kweku Asafu-Adjaye. Welcome back. If you're a returning person, or if you're new, welcome to my show, The Art of Thought. The Art of Thought is a podcast that I came up with for those late thoughts that come into your head when you should be sleeping. And for me, if I should be sleeping before 12 midnight, but I never do. And then I come up with all these ideas for things just like last night. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. So if you enjoy it, there's been about 17 other episodes that I've come out with, ranging from a variety of topics. And I'll have some future plans discussed later on at the end of this show. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get started. So one thing that I wanted to say is the last episode, I believe, let me double check. The last episode, I talked about new gadgets that I picked up. I picked up a thing called Google Wi-Fi so that I could get internet in the basement here. Because our Wi-Fi network right now, we don't have Ethernet plugs in the basement. It's only upstairs in the rooms. And so I picked up Google Wi-Fi, the 3-pack, and put it in each level equally across, and yeah, it's been very good. That's exactly what I'm using right now to do everything. I'm using the Google Wi-Fi system, and it's worked very well. I did a brief review of it on the last show, episode 17. Was it episode 17? I'm not even sure. But yeah, at New Gadgetry, if you take a look at that, I did a brief review of my thoughts and opinions on it, as well as this headset that I'm using. It's called Logitech G933 Artemis Spectrum. You know, it's one of those gaming headsets with RGB and stuff like that. It glows colors. So, with all that, I would love to proudly announce a new project that I'm working on. New project being, doesn't have a name yet. I'm just going to be brief with it in terms of discussing it on this show until I fully release it. It's a new project based off of what I did in the past. I did a podcast, not a podcast. I have an old YouTube channel that now I only watch videos off of. And I tried to jump in and out here and there lately just to see if I could spark the magic again, but it didn't seem to work out. And I decided that I'm going to relaunch it, but not the same channel. It's going to be completely different. I'm not going to do the same subject matter. I'm going to be doing, it has to do with critiquing things. That's all I'm going to say, so no one takes the idea. But I'll have probably an announcement by episode 20, because this is episode 18. By episode 20, about 2 weeks from now, which will actually be, let me see, what's today's date? Episode 20 will be on the 19th of December, and then Christmas holiday will come up the week after that. So episode 20, you should hear an announcement of the new project that I'm working on. It's a very vague thing that I just said, I know, but it's something I'm proud of. I've been talking to my parents about it, and because I'm not working like heavily right now, I'm not working full time or anything like that, so I'm pretty much doing this stuff full time. I decided, you know what, I think it's time to try to get back onto it, and I'm done with school and everything, so I can get back into what I did in the past that seemed to work so well that I lost focus on because of school. So that's the first major thing that I'm wanting to speak about. Now, another thing on a side topic as well, I have had a Nintendo Switch for quite some time now, and one big problem that I've heard on the internet is that there's a problem with the Joy-Con, the analog sticks on them. After about a couple months of usage, and it's not even, it's light usage, but heavy usage, I'm not using it constantly. Like, I haven't used this thing like 3 days. After multiple months of usage, this Nintendo Switch's Joy-Cons are both drifting. The analog sticks are drifting, you know, to whatever direction randomly. And when you try to when you go on the Nintendo Switch and try to calibrate the Joy-Con, it doesn't seem to work. Like, it says go back to let go of the Joy-Con and let them go to the center, they should end up back in the center position. When you look at what position they are on the screen, they're still drifting up, even though I haven't touched the Joy-Con at all. So it's a weird thing. I call it Switch Driftgate, because essentially the Joy-Con are drifting and no one's touching it. It's just, you know, the analog stick itself, when you look at it, they're not drifting. They're in the center position as far as it looks. But the Switch itself on the screen, when you're calibrating, it says there's something wrong, that they are drifting and they're not going back to center. And that can be a huge problem when you're playing a number of games on the Switch that require you to have precision, like platformers and stuff, because you can't let go of it before it just starts scrolling menus consistently. Some crazy stuff. Now, what I decided to do to solve my problem with that, unfortunately, not all games support this controller. I decided to get the Switch Pro controller during Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales. So I got the Pro controller. It's sitting right next to me here. And it solves the problems for the most part, but it is an expensive edition. I think it's like $60 because it was on sale. But it seemed to work really well. Unfortunately, on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and stuff, it doesn't support the Pro controller, and I don't believe Mario Party even supports the Pro controller. So if you're playing any of those games, be careful, because you might accidentally land on something or touch something in the game that you didn't want to touch, you're trying to avoid, and then all of a sudden, now, because of the drifting, you'll have no control over it. If you're playing like a Mario game, it might be even more annoying. But yeah. That's Driftgate that I want to talk about, because it's a weird thing. I looked on the internet. Apparently Nintendo already knows that this is a problem, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just like, oh, just take a dry toothbrush or something, or a brush, and clean underneath the rubber underneath the analog stick to release any debris that are under there, any dirt or sand that kind of slips underneath there. And part of me is like, okay, so Apple had this issue, and Apple's a bigger company than Nintendo. Apple had this issue. They got in trouble, and now they released new MacBook Pros that solved it by putting like a rubber cover over the keys. But Nintendo, I guess no one's talked about it, or they have talked about it, but really popular YouTube people haven't talked about it. So Nintendo's not going to do jack squat about it. You have to call them and go through all the loops and stuff before you can even figure out sending your Joy-Con back in. And note that when you send your Joy-Con back in, because there's no direct Nintendo store like Apple has Apple stores, you lose access. If you don't have a Pro controller or any other controller for your Switch, you lose access to even playing your Switch for how many weeks? And that's a terrible, terrible thing. These Joy-Con cost $70 total for both. And you need two of them for pretty much every game if you want to play comfortably, because the Joy-Con are really small. You know, we thought the Wii Remote was small, and it was like not very ergonomic unless you added the rubber cover. But the Joy-Con are even smaller because it's supposed to be a portable console that can play as well as it can play just as well portable as it is on a full big screen. So you can see the problem that I have here with this Joy-Con here, these neon red and neon blue Joy-Con here. And it's very annoying because I don't want to pay for more Joy-Con because I don't have people coming over like that to just buy more Joy-Con. It's usually just my little brother and me. So you only need the left and right Joy-Con. And now, even giving him it, I hesitate because it's like the controls stick, like not stick, but the control drifts. And so like my niece would come over and I'm like, hey, you want to play Mario Party? And she's like, sure. And then she's so young, you know, she's like 5. She doesn't know. She's like, what is wrong? The controller, it's not working. I can't move. And then we can't play Mario Party because the controller is sticking. And, you know, Mario Party, a lot of the games require precision when it's not a motion based, mini game. So Nintendo really needs to fix this. Someone needs to get the word out right there because it's not good at all. So that's Switch Driftgate for the Joy-Con. The next thing I wanted to talk about too was the Galaxy S9 Plus. I have had this phone for a bit now, and I basically am using it in replace of my iPhone 7 Plus because my iPhone 7 Plus, and I've had it for only a year, but already when I get calls and I receive calls, for some reason, even though I have full signal and everything, I could have Wi-Fi connected, Wi-Fi calling enabled and everything like that. I could be out in the town with no Wi-Fi, just using cellular data. And when I receive a call, people can hear me a lot of the time, but I can't hear them. So they think there's nothing wrong, and I keep saying hello as if I can't hear them because I can't. And it's really annoying because I'm looking for jobs right now, and when I'm applying to jobs and anyone calls me, I answer and I don't know what people are saying most of the time because it just sometimes does not work. And so I was like, you know what? I can't risk it, so let me go to the S9. Let me go to that phone because it's like, hey, I've always liked Android, especially the recent iterations of Android. I know the S10 is coming out, but I need a new phone. That way I can, you know, talk to people. I can get connected with all these employers and stuff that I've been applying to. So picked up the phone so far, put the SIM card, just swapped the SIM card in. It's unlocked already anyway. Swap the SIM card in. It's working fine. I haven't had any calls that like I can't hear people. Everything's been perfect. Even the spam calls honestly have been down compared to my iPhone, where for some reason, I know it's not the case, but for some reason on my iPhone, I was getting tons and tons of spam calls. And on this phone, I don't even have a call monitoring service where it monitors it screens spam calls. I don't even have any of that on there, and I haven't gotten a spam call since I put the SIM card in it. So it seems to be working really well. It shoots 4K 60 if I wanted to, 4K 30. It's got 960 FPS, slow motion. It's got a really nice screen. It's almost a 3000 resolution screen, but it's not exactly because it's a phone. It's a little long, but it's got a nice screen. It's got low bezels compared to the iPhone. The fingerprint sensor works well. Everything works really well with it. It's Android 8.0 or 8.1 Oreos. And so, yeah, it's working really well. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the Samsung Experience Beta, Samsung One UI Beta with Android 9 Pie. I don't have access to that, so I can't try the newest features and stuff, but it's working really well. And I like it. I really do like it. It's a great phone. Definitely recommend it. Got it on sale as usual. Best Buy price matches like everywhere. So it's like, why bother buying? I was talking to my sister and I was like, why would I buy a thing online, like a device online? I'm not talking about clothes, but why would I buy a device online when Best Buy, if you have a Best Buy near you, price matches to major retailers, and the major retailers being like Walmart, Sam's Club, all those places like Costco, Target, and anything like that, like Fry's, electronics, Amazon, all those retailers. Best Buy price matches, and if they have it in their store and they price match it to the cheapest price that's sold online, so you're not getting ripped off, there's no reason for me to wait 2 days for Prime, which I don't even have, so it'd be like a week. There's no reason for me to wait to order it when I could just buy it from Best Buy and have it the same day that I walked in, and I can touch it like right there. So that's one of the things that I would definitely recommend. People say Best Buy like they don't like it and stuff, but to me, Best Buy, if you know what you're going to get when you go to Best Buy, and you don't have tons of questions to ask because they might not be that helpful. You might know more about the product that you're buying before you even walk in than even what the sales floor people do. I would highly recommend just going to Best Buy and just picking it up there. Now, Walmart is a different story. To me, I would not recommend Walmart after the terrible experiences that I've had with it. Walmart, when I went in there one time, I was looking for a certain thing. I think I was looking for the phone, or I was looking for something a while back. Walmart, I was like, I know Walmart price matches, but what do you price match to? The employee, I don't know whether it was just her, like whether she was just like, she didn't know, or she just told me the wrong thing. She literally told me that, yeah, we don't price match other stores. We only price match other Walmarts. And I was like, what? You only price match other Walmarts? Why would you only price match other Walmarts? When there's a Best Buy across the street. I didn't say all this, but I was like, in my brain, I was like, if there's a Best Buy right across the street that price matches to you guys, why would and they probably have more, like, they have more electronics than Walmart does. Walmart is a grocer mostly. It's a variety store. Why would I buy it from Walmart if you don't even price match? When Best Buy is right across the street from you guys, and they do price match even you guys. They price match all of your stores and you. And you guys have less and Best Buy has more. Why would I come to Walmart to get any electronic? And she just said, yeah, they only price match other Walmarts. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out. So I left. I literally left, and I went across the street and went to Best Buy to get whatever I needed. I don't even remember what I needed. But when I went there, everything was smooth because I already knew there was a lower price elsewhere. That's why I went to Walmart to ask them, because I knew they had the phone, but I didn't know that they didn't price match stores other than Walmart, which is really dumb. I guess Walmart, what they were trying to do is make you buy it from their location so you didn't have to drive to another Walmart. But the problem with that being, if you have to go to another location, you know, the location's probably going to have a Best Buy next to it anyway. For electronics is what I'm saying. Why not just go to Best Buy? Any Best Buy will price match to any Walmart in any location. And that's it. And you'll be set. I don't understand the policies for Walmart. I don't know why they would do that. You know, it's cheapish for groceries, yes. But for electronics, don't bother going there for that. Unless you're getting a TV or something like that, even that, I don't think it's worth it, because I think Best Buy will even price match TVs at Walmart, and Best Buy will most likely have the TV you want, or a slightly better one for probably a cheaper price based on price match. So it's kind of like a PSA that I wanted to say. I wouldn't recommend going to Walmart for any electronic needs. I know people are like, why would you go there for that? Go order it online or Newegg or whatever. But the problem with all that is that if they have it at Best Buy will price match even Newegg. So there's no reason to have to wait 3 days for your product to come in. Unless you don't mind waiting, which, you know, for me, I would love to have it the same day rather than waiting. So I can just go to a local store and just get it. Yeah, so that's my little rant for, you know, shopping for things. But the S9 Plus, it works really well. It's a nice phone. It's very slick, unfortunately. Like, you have to put a case on it immediately and cover up the niceness that is the body of the phone. But it's pretty slick. It's pretty fast. Everything works well. It's really nice. The one thing that's annoying is Bixby. Bixby, like everyone says, I feel like it's really dumb. Yeah, Bixby is just a poor product to me. Like, I wish I could remap, just like everyone else says, I wish I could remap the Bixby button on the left side underneath the volume rocker to Google Assistant, so I didn't have to hold the home button to go to Google Assistant. But other than that, the phone is great. Works well, camera's good, looks nice, everything's smooth, it runs smoothly, everything is nice. So highly recommended. If you find it on sale for like really cheap, because I think this holiday season it was like down like $550 for like the regular S9. Definitely worth it to me. Unless you find another phone, Android phone you want, like the OnePlus 6T, or even the OnePlus 6, go for those, because those are all nice. Only gripe that with those is that they don't have an official IP60 IP rating for water resistance. they don't have a headphone jack, and also it has a little notch, and then as well as no wireless charging on the OnePlus 6. But other than that, it's a flagship phone. It works really well, and it's pretty cheap. So OnePlus 6 or Galaxy S, definitely worth it. I tried the Google Pixel 3 XL. I tried it out, and I was like, no, it's not worth it for me. I heard all the problems with it, with lagging and bugginess and craziness, and I was like, I'm not about to deal with that. So far, I've heard everything good about the Samsung devices this year, even though they haven't sold very well. I've always heard good things about them, so I was like, let me just work with what's working and not have to deal with problems later and have to drive back to the store and be like, 14 days passed, you can't return this. So that's the thing. Now, on to the next step. We're 20 minutes in. Future plans. So, future plans, actually, you know what? Yeah, future plans. I have some future plans for this podcast. There's some new things going to be coming in probably 2019 is what I'm marking for it. There's going to be some interviews with some local entrepreneurs. By entrepreneurs, I mean like owners of businesses and stuff like that. I have one lined up right now. It's just been a little busy right now because it's holiday season. She was formerly on Food Network's Cupcake Wars. She owns a little bakery and cake decorating shop, just like Charm City Cakes in Baltimore, Maryland, near me. So she decorates cakes really nicely, and she also sells coffee and all this stuff. It's a nice coffee shop and cake decorating shop. She will be on the show. An interview with her talking about how she started her things and everything like that, her whole background. She'll be on the show in probably by January. She'll be on the show. Should be done by then. Aside from the YouTube project that I was talking about with my critiquing things, she'll be on the show. And also I have some other local businesses nearby that I'm scouting out to see. I'm not talking corporation businesses, but local businesses I'm scouting out to see their main owner and doing the same similar style interviews. So 2019 is going to be filled with interviews here and there. Maybe once a month I'll insert an interview with an owner of a small business on the show. Just talking about how they created and came to doing what they do now, because most likely that business that they started is what they love to do. They love coming in every day to do it. Otherwise they wouldn't start the small business. So I'm looking at that. That's coming up, and then some more things are coming up YouTube wise. I put a hiatus. I was at one point what I called it the manic phase, where you just do a bunch of things, even though I'm not bipolar officially. I was creating YouTube videos, doing blog posts on my YouTube channel, Just Kweku. And it was reading off my old blog posts, almost storybook style, and just discussing how things compare between now and then, or just figuring out what my thought process was back then during those crazy phases of my life, which was like 3 years ago. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to doing that. Definitely going to bring that back. It was a nice thing to be doing. I don't know about doing it daily, but I'm thinking about maybe like 3 times a week on that channel. Yeah, so it's just a bunch of little things, constantly keeping the mind focused. And that's if you have problems in your life, keeping your mind focused on a project or projects. Don't do too many projects, obviously. Keeping your mind focused on a project is going to be the best thing you can do for yourself. It's the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. And then last thing before I sign off, I am going to, like I said in the last episode, I believe it was the last episode, I'm working on getting IT certification, CompTIA A+ certification for IT. I want to learn more about that stuff because of the YouTube channel that I'm going to be doing soon. That way I have some more background information and know more about what I'm doing, even though I do know a good amount of things about computers and the hardware of a computer, considering I built my own computer from scratch without asking any questions. So yeah, that's happening. And so yeah, that's about it. It was kind of like a rough, just kind of rambling podcast episode. It's not like when I first started where I had a topic off the top of my head, but I'm gonna try to get back into that stuff. It's been kind of a crazy fall for me, so yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Hope everyone has a great holiday, because the holidays are coming up very quickly.